Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So before I even get into it, I'm just going to say, men, you really don't have any business watching this video. This is strictly for the ladies, and ladies, if you're like sensitive or weird about period talk, you probably don't want to watch this either. This is for people who are interested in the Diva Cup or any sort of menstrual cup and just want to, hear somebody's personal experience with it and get a little tips on, how to move forward with it. So that being said, even though I would love the views, men, y'all got to click out. And yeah, unless you are interested in menstrual cups and don't have anything ignorant to say, periods are normal. Every woman, every healthy woman has one. They're what makes the world go round. So yes, this is nothing abnormal, nothing taboo. It's a normal, healthy thing that happens to the female body. So anyway, I've had the Diva Cup now for about 3 cycles. And I'd been wanting to try it for a while. Finally, a couple of my girlfriends, they said they'd been on it. Shout out Lauren and Nakia. They said they'd been using the Diva Cup for a while, and it had just really, it'd been a great experience for them for the most part. So I'm like, okay, I really wanted to try it because I've always been a tampon girl, and tampons were getting expensive, and I just wanted something a little easier to use. And also the Diva Cup is eco-friendly. Like I'm trying to reduce my plastic intake and stuff, and so that was another reason why I wanted to give the Diva Cup a try as well. So I just kept hearing wonderful things about the Diva Cup, and tampons, I like them, but even for myself, I know if I'm like on a heavy flow in the middle of the night, even a Super Plus really isn't enough. I usually find myself getting up in the middle of the night to change my tampon. So I wanted something that was going to be able to keep me going. The Diva Cup, you're supposed to be able to wear it for up to 12 hours at a time and only have to change it twice a day. So I really wanted to give the Diva Cup a try, and I just really wanted to be Team Diva Cup. So I finally purchased one from Sprouts. It came in this cute little bag. There's 2 different sizes. You can either get the one size is for if you are under 30 and have no kids, and then the other size is for if you are over 30 and or have kids. So yeah, you want to make sure that you get the right size that you need, but it comes in this bag, and I will show you guys what it looks like. This is what the Diva Cup looks like. And I know that looks really, really scary to somebody who's like has never used anything like this before, or say you're coming from pads. Like, this looks really, really scary. And for me, it did too, until my homegirl, she actually let me touch her Diva Cup, and I felt, and it's just silicone. It just, it bends, it folds. Like, it's not like a big old plastic cup that you're sticking up there. It folds. It works in the vagina. We deliver children out of these things. So this cup goes in with no problem. So first and foremost, just do not be intimidated by the size of the cup, the width, anything like that. It's it's not going to hurt you. It's not going to get stuck up there. None of that's going to happen as long as you are inserting it properly. And I don't even think it could get stuck up there if you didn't, because it naturally just kind of comes down anyway. But yeah, so let me tell y'all about my experience with using this. It has been good, bad, and ugly all in one. And I know when you get a Diva Cup, don't expect to be, your first time trying it, that it's just going to be like perfect. You're good, you're throwing out all your tampons, your pads, whatever. Like, don't expect that, because it's trial and error. So the first time that I put it in, it worked great. It was crazy. Like, the first day that I got my period and I put this cup in, I had 0 leaks, nothing. There's 2 ways you can fold it. Now, there's the C shape, which is like this, and insert it that way. Or you can do, I forget what they called it, like the tuck and fold or something like that, where you do it like this. There you go. And you insert it in that way. So either one of those are the most popular folds. I usually do the C shape, doing it like this, like that, and sticking it in that way. That shape works best for me. And so yeah, the first time that I did it, I had absolutely no problems. I put it in, and then it said to do a turn on it. So I did the turn, and then pop. The cup opens, and then you stick it in. You stick it in, and you don't want to go too far, because if you go too far, you can have leaking, and if you don't go far enough, you can have leaking. Like, it should go, I'm not a physician or anything like that. I'm just saying what worked for me. It should go in to the point where, like, you don't see any of the stick hanging out, of the stem hanging out. Like, that's what feels comfortable for me. And I know some ladies even trim the stem if, you know, just based off of your vagina. You might need to trim the stem if it's still hanging down too low and it's uncomfortable, like brushing up against your panties or something. So yeah, that worked for me. So I did it the first night, and I thought I was like a new woman, y'all. Like, I had no leaking, no nothing. I was calling my girlfriends, telling them like, y'all, I am like, I'm Team Diva Cup. This has changed my life. This has been like the best experience. Like, I'm never buying tampons again. It's just amazing. So yeah, the first night was cool. Day 2, I don't know what happened. You know, I feel like I inserted it the exact same way, and it lasted during the day, and I went to sleep. It lasted during the night, and as soon as I woke up in the morning, here's where it gets graphic, y'all. As soon as I woke up in the morning and I stood up, all the blood that was in this cup came pouring down. It was like a murder scene. It was like a murder scene, and I didn't know what I did wrong. Like, obviously I must not have let it seal or let it pop open, and that's very, very easy to do, is to not let it pop, or you think it's popped and it's not really. So yeah, I was really, really frustrated. So I started wearing a pad underneath, and I did that even day 1. I wore a pad underneath just to be safe, because you don't want to get, you know, be at work or something and then all of a sudden a disaster happens. So I was wearing a pad underneath, but then it got to the point where, like, I felt like I was leaking every time, and I didn't know what I was doing different. I tried the different folds. I tried different positions of inserting it. It was just very hit or miss for like the first 2 cycles after that. So by cycle 2, I was like miserable, because I was pretty much wearing pads. Like, and I hate pads. Like, nothing against people who like pads, but I absolutely despise pads. I just don't feel comfortable in them, especially having to wear one at night. Like, I don't even like sleeping with underwear on. So when you have to sleep with underwear and a big ass pad on, it's very, very uncomfortable. So I was almost like feeling depressed, like, oh my gosh, walking around with these pads on, just bleeding all day in this pad. So, you know, and I had the Diva Cup in, but again, I just was not getting it in properly. Like, maybe if my cycle is 5 days, maybe 1.5 of those times I would have the Diva Cup in right. So I was getting really, really frustrated with it. And I had almost even told myself I was going to just give up on the Diva Cup completely, because it was just too much. And so I was like, well, maybe I'll look into like reusable cloth tampons with a reusable applicator. I looked into that, because that was pretty much the only other thing I could imagine that I would want to do, because I don't want the blood coming out of my body, you know, if that makes sense. So I didn't want to try cloth pads or anything like that. I mean, obviously those are more eco-friendly options than you know, a regular plastic tampon, but I just don't like just, you know, chilling in blood all on my vagina. So yeah, I really did not want to have to do anything like that. So I looked into cloth tampons, and it just seemed kind of like a hassle. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to give this Diva Cup one more try. I'd watched 1,045,000 videos on YouTube trying to just get new techniques and new tips on how to work the Diva Cup. And, you know, it didn't matter what I did. Like I said, sometimes it worked perfect, and then sometimes it didn't. So then I just finished up my 3rd cycle. I'm like, let me try it again, because they say 3rd time's a charm. And so I tried it again for the 3rd cycle, and the first couple days, no, it was just the same. Like, no, I pretty much had to have a pad on the entire time. But then I feel like something hit me and I realized what I was doing wrong, which was, and I feel like this is where a lot of ladies that complain about leaking is going wrong. So, you know, when you do the demonstration again, because this is the best way to be able to show y'all. So when you put it in, only put it in a little bit. What I was doing was I was putting it in, keeping it folded like a taco, spinning it, and when you do that, it does not always pop open. Like sometimes you can do that, and you know, my finger is not obviously as big as like the muscles in your vagina or like the walls in your vagina. So sometimes I would do that and it would just not, what I'm thinking is that it just was not opening all the way. So I started watching videos and I saw a girl who she said she had to actually, once she puts it in, she said, put it in just a little bit, then, you know, grab the bottom and rotate it, and then still stick your finger through there and run it around the entire rim just to make sure that it is open all the way, and then from there stick it the rest of the way in. And so I did that the last 2 days of my period and I had absolutely no leaking. So with that being said, I'm not going to give up on the Diva Cup. Like, it's just one of those things, you know, you have to learn it. You know, you have to get comfortable with your body. You have to get familiar with your body. You have to learn it. But once you do, like, it's really, this thing is life-changing because of the fact that, yeah, you don't have to start carrying around, oh, I lost a piece of lock jewelry. Yeah, you don't have to carry around tampons with you or pads with you, and overall it'll be cheaper in the long run. I think it's like $30 or something to start off with the Diva Cup, but it lasts you for an entire year. It's very easy to maintain. I will say I do not think I would feel comfortable changing this in any place except my own bathroom, because that's another thing. I'm not going to act like it's all peaches and cream and beautiful and you just pluck it out, you know, and you keep going on with your day. No, you know, when you take it out, you sit on the toilet, you know, you kind of push down, and once you feel the stem, that's when you start, you know, it starts coming on down, and then you'll see how much blood you had, which is also pretty, I thought that was pretty interesting too, because I always imagine on your period you bleed like a cup of blood or 2 cups of blood, but like literally after 12 hours, unless you're just super, super heavy or something like that, after 12 hours this thing really isn't even full. So you really don't bleed as much as like you would think that you bleed. But yeah, so you take it out, you dump it in the toilet, you rinse it off, wash it with your little soap, and then I like to put it back in the shower. So, I mean, obviously you can only do that one time in the day, putting it in the shower. So like if I shower at night, what I'll do is, you know, dump it at night, rinse it off, put it in the shower with me, and then before I get out the shower, reinsert it. And yeah, I think that works really good. Or you can do it sitting on the toilet. I personally feel like I'd rather be standing up and like have a leg propped up or something. It's just more relaxing for me. You just want to make sure that your body is relaxed before you put it in, because if not, it just makes it harder. It really, really does. And you know, I'm just gonna be real. If you feel like you need a little bit of lubrication or something to help slide it in, because obviously you're not walking around all day with a moist vagina, so if you need a little bit of lubricant, don't hesitate. A little bit of lubricant, a little bit of water, something to just help it slide in easier. Because yeah, I mean, even though you fold it into the C shape or whatever, like, I mean, it's bigger than a tampon just going in. Like, it's not, you know, you're not just going to pop it in and go. So you definitely want to find the position that works comfortable for you. But overall, I would suggest every woman try this, because it is, in my opinion, like revolutionary for women, and when it comes to our periods and how we handle them, to be able to do what you need to do, to be able to, you know, not have to change your tampon 4, 5, 6 times a day, to just be able to have this cup that you can depend on, and once you master it, will not let you down. So don't give up on it. Like, even now, I just finished 3 cycles with it. Even when I go into cycle number 4, I expect to have some leaking here and there or whatever, but it's trial and error. Don't give up just because like the first 1 or 2 cycles you didn't get it right. Like, even, I don't know about y'all, but even when I started using tampons at like 17, 18 years old, that was trial and error. So, you know, it just takes time, but you will get it, and don't give up. I know this thing has stressed me out a bunch of times, and it still will. It's still going to, but again, just the overall cost effectiveness and the environment, the fact that it's better for the planet, it's better for your vagina, because there's so many toxic things in tampons and pads now that's why you see so many women coming down with cervical cancer and all kinds of things, like so many things going on in the vagina, that a lot of it comes from the products that we're using, the things that we're putting inside of it. So anything that's just natural, this is just silicone, anything, you know, that is just very minimal ingredients, all that type of stuff, it's worth it to try it. So I really hope I've answered a lot of questions on this Diva Cup. I know that there's probably going to be, if you have any question, feel free to drop it in the comment section below, because it's, you know, if you're new to the Diva Cup like I am, the questions are never ending, and you want to be well informed before you actually get the cup, and you want to make sure you feel comfortable, and just always, always, always wear a pad for backup when you're in the first few cycles with this thing, because when it leaks, y'all, when it leaks, I'm telling you, everything from this cup will pour down. So just, yeah, be careful. Don't get caught slipping. And I hope this helps somebody. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section below, and make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will catch you guys real soon. Peace out.